Alright, what's up everybody? Let's open these windows so we quit fogging up this damn airplane. It's pretty bad when even on a flight sim you gotta check your flight controls and make sure they're all free and correct. Switches seem to be operating on the yoke here as well. So, let's assume we've done the startup, or the pre-flight, and get right into the startup here. Battery's coming on. Avionics are going to stay off. Mixture's going to come full forward. Beacon light minimum. I like to turn the nav light on too. I'm a weirdo. You know. Both, and the fuel is on. We'll give her a little prime. Let's hope this works. Lean that mixture while we get everything else on. Avionics are on. Navigation lights are on, avionics on, radios on, flaps are retracted. Alright, now that we got the engine running, we can shut these and pull that. We're just going to sit here at around 1,000 RPMs until our oil temperature rises up in the green. Once it rises up in the green, we'll be able to do our taxi and then run up and get this bird in the air. We'll run through that in a moment. Our ride for today Definitely features the wheel fairings. I think a Cessna looks incomplete without them. And we have the flap gap seals as well to aid with our cruise speed today. Looks like some people are going to watch us take off. No pressure or anything. No pressure at all. Well, temperature's getting there. It's getting there. Give you an idea of the takeoff we're going to do. We're not going to use any flaps. You saw me set the trim just a second ago. I've noticed if I go where that point's at on the takeoff setting there, it does a lot of nose up, and you end up having to trim it quite a bit of nose down to get it to stabilize. So in flying with it a little bit yesterday, I sort of found kind of a little sweet spot, I guess you could say, that just helps me. It's still going to be a crummy takeoff because the managing the torque with these plastic rudder pedals is kind of a pain in the ass. And I've kind of spoiled myself by flying the big jets a lot recently, so we need to go back to the roots of where it all began. And for me, I was in a Cessna. Default FSX Cessna. More specifically, the G1000 variant. Unfortunately, we got the 6-pack. And no GPS. I chose not to put a GPS in this bad boy. It helps save kind of some frames. And when you're maxing out the scenery, every little bit counts. Where are we at here? I'm thinking that's safe to taxi on by the time we get out to the runway. It should be ready. We'll keep an eye on the RPM. brakes on the simulators always make it look so violent, like I barely touched them. But whatever. Double check our oil here, make sure we're at 100. We are definitely at 100, so we'll go ahead and increase the mixture and proceed with the run-up. So, up to 1800 RPMs. Just like that, so far everything's running smooth. Right, left, both seem good. Okay. I think we're ready for the all-important takeoff. Go ahead and throttle back. Get the strobes on. Didn't turn the taxi lights on for taxi, but probably should have. This is why we are in a simulator. And away we go. Was it as bad as I thought it was going to be? Give her a little bit of nose down trim here. Relax that rudder pedal just a little bit. That nose drop a little bit while we're banking and climbing so that we don't stall or anything. That would be very, very bad at this stage of flight. Got the upgraded propeller on this so we can spin the engine up to 2700 RPMs. It's got a little bit more horsepower, so I'm just bringing the power back a little bit prematurely so that we don't overshoot the cruise speed too terribly much anyway. I'd like to keep it at about 100, 110 maybe. I'm gonna go 2200 on the RPMs, and wherever she lands on the airspeed. Right now I'm just trimming the airplane, trying to keep it as level as possible. Friday Harbor is just off the left of our nose here. We departed Orcas Island. That was the airport we just left at. That one back there, you can kind of see it down in the trees there a little bit. The buildings just rendered in. Friday Harbor is just off the left of the nose here. And I'm gonna do my best to land there. It will be a full stop landing. We're not going to do a touch and go. I will do a full stop. We'll pull off onto a taxiway and then depart again on the runway after we've raised the flaps, readjusted the trim, that whole thing. So I can see the lights to the airport right there. The red pappy indicators telling us we are too low. So what I want to do is actually get ready for this approach already. So I'm going to bring the power back a little bit. I'm going to rehide this yoke so that I can see the TAC, the RPM gauge down there. Slightly important on an approach. A little harder to move your head in a simulator than it is in real life. Just kind of look around the yoke, so we'll get rid of it for now. Comes 10 degrees and we'll catch the nose as it tries to rise on us there. As the airplane slows back down, the nose should drop and you should be able to relax some of that forward pressure a little bit. I am going to use just a little bit of trim to help assist it. Looking for about 60 knots on this approach. We're a little fast here. We got 20 degrees more flaps to drop. I'm going to go ahead and go to 20 now. We're slow, so the nose isn't going to rise as violently. Going to keep it level and adjust power to hold 60 knots. Wait for that pappy light to tell me that I'm on the proper glide slope. And then we'll start descending and we'll drop our last 10 degrees of flaps. As we descend, we'll do our best to hold that 60 knot mark there. And hopefully I can get it on the ground without destroying the airplane, or worse, hurting anybody on board. track the center line and pray we can just keep it on the glide slope. So far, so good. A little to the right, but I'm correcting. We are also a little high, so I'm going to bring the power back just a little bit. There we go. Alright, the idea here is to hold the airplane off of the runway until we're in a climb attitude. Bring the power back to idle and start raising the nose, but try not to balloon. Not quite a climb attitude, but we still touched main gear first, so. Raise the flaps up. Adjust the trim for takeoff again. And we're set to go. Mixture's full, rich. And we're going. Apply a little bit of back pressure. The airplane will lift off when it's good and ready to fly. Ease that right rudder a little bit. Should we go back to Orcas Island and land? Or should we go to, like, Secu maybe? 11 Sierra? The decisions. The decisions. Orcas Island is just off of our nose here. Pretty much just over this little hump off to the left is Orcas Island. Probably do a landing here and then fly on over to 11 Sierra. It'll be a little bit of a flight. It should be fun though. Plenty of scenery to look at, that's for sure. Let's try another landing. Come on, get on the pappy. Let's go. Maybe not. We'll just be high on this whole approach. We could go around. Or we could just send it. Hey, there's a glide slope. Well, all right. Coming in over the trees. It's more fun that way, you know? Let's see if I can achieve more of a climb attitude on this one here, shall we? Keep it off the runway. Keep it off the runway. Little bounce. Just a teeny tiny. Just like a. That's all right. It's what we practice for. That's why we're here. Bringing that mixture back a little bit here. What I'm gonna do is just back taxi this runway. We'll take back off 16. And we'll fly to Secu, I think is how you say the name of the airport. I don't frickin' know. Secu? 11 Sierra. That's all you need to know. Those three letters or numbers. The identifier. Flaps are coming up. Trim's almost at takeoff already. Do a little U-turn. Yes, I'm going to have to use differential braking here. Just like that. Mixture's full. Confirm flaps are up. Excellent. The lights, landing lights were never on. Strobe lights were never on. Go figure. Power's on full. he's ready to go flying. I will say the takeoffs have gotten smoother and smoother though. Lots of nose down trim. Lots of nose down trim. I'm going to transition to a cruise climb. So that way I don't have to use as much rudder. We'll just let the speed of the airplane pick up a little bit, and we'll hold some nose up pitch to just climb nice and easy like. Yep, just like that. Alright, we basically need to continue on this heading, a straight south heading, until we reach the next land mass. So after this land that's in front of our nose, I can actually kind of see it through the haze off on the horizon there. Once we hit that shoreline, we'll follow it to the right. I'm going to do my best to hold 2,500 feet. Bring the power back from full to 2,500. It's going to require a little bit of back pressure, a little bit of nose up trim. Nice, relaxing climb up to the top. Overshot my altitude a little bit there. So we are basically just skimming Vancouver airspace. We've got a decent little buffer, but we are going to be right along the edge of it. Let's give her a little more forward bite here. We're really not burning that bad of fuel. 8.8 gallons per hour. Got a pretty decent cruise speed. If I could level this damn thing out. Lord. So what would we do if we have an engine out right here? Well, we're going swimming. That's what would happen. That's exactly what would happen. so close I can almost smell it. Make a slight adjustment here. Before we land this plane again. Land ho! There's this airport on this little tiny island up here called Port Angels. Pretty sure it's a military station, but we're gonna land there anyway. Climb just a bit here, losing our altitude from our 2500 self-proclaimed sweet spot. right over the magnetic compass there is our airport. Speaking of magnetic compasses, line those two up for some gyroscopic drift there. Like this whole island up here is like an airport. It's just an airport. It's kind of cool. This is going to be the most interesting approach I've probably done yet until we get on over to 11 Sierra. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is a small military base. But it's a simulator, so why not? I want to land on an island. On an island that's like basically just an airport and a connecting road. I guess it's not technically an island then, huh? You know what? We're not going to talk about technicalities. We're just going to land the Cessna. Turn back around, take right back off again. Because that's how we do. Lights are all on, mixture is full, flaps are down. We're ready to land this beast. A little high, but we can always correct that with a little bit of throttle. Yes. Look at that. It's like some dirt in the middle of some water that we decided to put a couple runways on, one of which is closed. It's like begging for a Cessna to land on it. I flew past it the other day and was like, that'd be fun to land at. So here I am, landing here. To the left of the runway, but attempting to land here nonetheless. Bring some of that power back in since we're about at that altitude where we should be thinking about the water down below us. Ooh, let's hope this is a greaser. Doing a little bit of nose up trim here. About 55 knots on the approach speed. Not bad, not bad. So far, so good. Aiming for the numbers. We won't touch down at the numbers, but that's what I'm aiming for right now. Okay. There's the threshold. Gonna cut the power, bring the nose up. Oh man. Hey! Look at that! Well, how about them apples? Alright, so I'm going to immediately bring the mixture back. Put on just a little throttle to get the engine running smooth. Not enough to really accelerate us. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to back taxi this runway here. We'll pop a UE right here. We're going to back taxi to the threshold of where we landed down here. Runway 26, according to the chart. And we'll continue our journey to 11 Sierra. Secu, I think is how you say it. Beats me. I just refer to it as 11 Sierra. I'm terrible with names. Absolutely terrible. Flaps are coming up. Bringing the trim to takeoff standards. Oh yeah, we're about ready for another takeoff already. Well, shoot. Yep, it's runway 25 in sim, but it's definitely 26 on the chart. Okay. Mixture's full. And away we go. There's full power. A little bit of back pressure and she'll raise the nose when she's ready. There it is. Use that rudder to catch it. I'm getting better at those takeoffs, boy, I tell you what. Giving it just a little bit of forward pressure to keep that nose from like trying to pull a loop-de-loop on me here. Also trimming down to help relieve some of that forward pressure I have on the yoke. Alright, onward! Let's get over land and fly next to these mountains, because that seems like a more fun and thrilling endeavor. There we go. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to transition into a little cruise climb here. I'm going to bring the power back just a little bit. I'm going to trim the nose down just a little bit. I'm going to hold some of that forward speed while we climb out. That way, we're not moving at a snail's pace the whole time. Fairchild International right down there. Just leveled off here at roughly 2,500. A little high, so I'm gonna descend just a little bit. Some of these Oryx mountain ranges look pretty damn good, even in sim. Even in sim. Or maybe it's just because I come from, like, central United States where everything is frickin' flat. There it is. 2,500. She needs some more nose-up trim. Hey man, you're not supposed to like fly through the fucking wing, chase plane. Jesus. That's not how this works. Looking at about 22 more miles to Secu. I know I'm butchering that name. I know it. But nonetheless, we're about 20 miles from our destination. We will probably do a flyover, determine our best approach and landing direction. We'll do a quick fly around the area, maybe enjoy some of the scenery that is involved with this Orbix airport. And then we'll get her on the ground and see how I fare with a short field landing. That last landing on the island it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't, how do you say, rough, I guess? Which, I feel like some of that's down to A2A sound effects. I mean, if you touch the stall horn when landing this thing, it just sounds like you slammed it down every single time. And you could just be right above the runway, but if it hears stall horn, if you're on stall horn, it's going to sound like you slammed it. So yeah, we kept it off the stall horn on the island, but let's try and touch the stall horn on this one, on this approach up here at Secu. That doesn't even sound like, ah, Lord. For those of you wondering, we flew around the Pacific Northwest region. We originally departed Orcas Island, flew into Friday Harbor, back to Orcas Island, and then we took back off from Orcas Island and we went to Port Angels, a little airport located on like some dirt in the middle of the water. That's all that's there basically is that airport, a couple runways, some airport buildings. So I figured, fuck it, let's land there. Pretty sure it's a military base, small military base, but let's just say I asked the flight sim gods for permission, I guess. Obviously you wouldn't want to do that in a real life situation. The airport is about 15 miles off the nose of the aircraft, directly off the nose of the aircraft. We will be coming up on it very shortly. We should start to see some traces of an airport shortly. It is right off the coastline, so I'm going to stay just to the right of the coastline a little bit here. That way we can use my window to look out of. Whole lot of nothing in this area. This would be a good spot to go hunting, fishing, taking a nice long hike. Good lord, there's not jack shit. No small town. Nothing. Might be the best place to be right now, actually. That area looks like a fun spot to land an airplane in. Maybe right in here. I'm thinking a Piper Cub trip from 11 Sierra. Maybe? Maybe? That'll be a future stream, but small Fairport landings, quite possibly. I believe that's the airport right there on top of that little peak. Previous flight time in and out of this airport is kind of a good thing, especially if you have maxed out scenery. It's kind of tucked into some trees, a little hard to see. It does have a paved runway. It is paved, which is good, but it's basically just a runway. Few parking spots, but only a few. Real tiny airport. It is a public airport. It's kind of interesting because it's got a prison right up the hill from it. Prison in the middle of nowhere. Who'd have thought? It's actually right off the left of the nose there. I caught just a glimpse of it. Just off the left of the nose there, getting ready to tuck behind the frame there is the prison. We'll do a flyover on it. If I'm not mistaken, this is the best way in through runway 26 here. Basically the direction we're flying in now. Like I said, we are going to fly past it just to confirm that is the best course in. Then we'll overfly the prison and probably call it a stream. There's the prison. We'll get a better look at that here in just a second. There's our runway right there. Definitely use these docks down here in this kind of dirt-like mountaintop, I guess you could say, dirt-like hilltop, as some visual pilotage, Dead Reckoning kind of situations there to help find this airport. It really blends into the surroundings quite well. Fly to the right of it, get a good look at it, but I'm definitely thinking this is going to be our best way in is from this direction on runway 26, not through 08. Looks like we'd be battling quite a few trees over that way. There's a little town. Alright, we've got some civilization over yonder. That beach. Oh, that... Okay, I know where we're taking the Piper Cub. Yes. Can confirm. Piper Cub is going to catch some dirt on its tires. There is our landing spot, peeking out from the frame there. Definitely going to bring it in on runway 26. Calm winds, so we can use whatever runway we want. Oh, there is a displaced threshold, it seems, on the approach end of 08, so... Either way, we are going to fly around the airport, so we'll probably just take 26 anyway. We're going to go look at the prison here. So, go ahead and take a peek out our window. There it is right behind us. I'm going to do one of those steep banks because we can. Actually, it's just a 30 degree, not necessarily steep. Steeper than your average 20 degree bank, that's for certain. Hopefully they don't shoot at us, huh? That would be bad. That would be very bad. I found the prison! Surrounded by lots of nothings. Lots of trees, a big fence. I think we were in GTA if I wasn't flying so smoothly. Good lord. Little helipad for you helicopter pilots. Want to land over by the prison? Well, there you go. All right. I'm going to bring the power back, start slowing the airplane down here. We're going to start prepping for our landing. Autopilot just telling me that I have fallen a couple hundred feet below the altitude that I have put in, which is okay. We're getting ready to land, autopilot. Good spot to drop some flaps. First 10 degrees at least. We'll let the airplane slow a little bit, and then we will immediately drop for 20 more, or to 20, 10 degrees more. Lights are all good, everything's looking good there. Everything's in the green when it comes to our instruments. Reading nominal. If I was SpaceX, that's what I would say. Reading's nominal. Alright, go ahead and drop another stage of flaps. And I'm going to trim the airplane out a little bit here. Adding just a little bit of power. I don't want to fall too much below 60 knots yet. If I can hold 55 knots again on this approach, how would you say that would be ideal? I probably won't because I've got already added pressure of this being a compact field, kind of really short, not a whole lot of room for error down here. We don't want to float down the runway, but I probably will. We'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm going to start dropping this bird, bring the power back just a little more, drop the flaps to their final 30-degree resting place. And we're committed at this point. Nice gentle turn to get us lined up with the runway here. Things don't happen very fast in a Cessna, so we've got plenty of room to correct for our high approach at the moment. We appear to be a little to the left as well, correcting. A little bit of nose-up trim here to help me stabilize this airplane. I do not want to be fighting the airplane when I get it closer to the ground, especially at an airport like 11 Sierra. Now I'm a little to the right of the runway. Story of my life. We are still a little high, so I'm going to bring that power back some more. We're going to drop her like a rock. But when this rock hits the ground, the airplane's going to be reusable, okay? That's the plan. I'll leave that power setting where it's at so that I can slow below 60 knots here. We're getting a decent sight picture now, something I'm more comfortable with. I don't look as high on the approach path anymore. A little more nose up trim. Bring the power back just a titch more. I want to be around 60 knots for this. Anything faster just means I'm floating longer, and we don't want that. We definitely don't want that. Looks like we're going to be going in between some trees here. This ought to be fun. So I'm aiming for the numbers right now, right at the numbers. I'll bring the power back just a little sooner than I normally would and bring that nose without ballooning. Didn't touch the stall horn like I wanted to, but I ballooned that one time a little bit and definitely wanted to just get it on the ground without soaking up too much runway. This looks like a good spot to turn around. Alright, now we back taxi. Well, we started with full tanks. Used quite a bit of fuel there in our little adventure. Where are we gonna park? Not sure this airplane has the towing feature. I'm gonna do something a little crazy here to park this airplane. We're gonna use some grass. Just a little bit of grass. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Not too shabby. Pull up a little bit more. Too much power. Too much power. And the Xbox controller fell and went all haywire. Alright. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Taxi lights can come off too because we're no longer taxiing. Mixture cut. Throttle idle. Parking brake set. Electronics. Avionics. Master switch off. Should have turned all that off before the avionics was killed, but we'll get it off now. Shh, don't tell nobody. Over to one side to prevent cross-contamination of the fuel while it sits. Off with the switch. Control lock is in. And just like that, we took a Cessna journey around the Pacific Northwest. Okay. I think that is going to be the end of the stream, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. Give me the thumbs up. Ring the notification bell when you want to be notified of any future live streams, uploads, things like that. I will say I have a name change coming to the channel. That should happen soon. You should see that change within the next week. So keep an eye out for that. I made myself some logos and stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope you guys are too. I think that's it for now. So until next time.